Just letting everyone in Australia know that James Charles is sleeping with Evan Johnson, the one that broke Kayla Malik's jaw and badly beat and abused her, the one that was in prison. James Charles has been housing this motherfucker, flying him out to sleep with him.
James, you're fucking cooked, kid. We're gonna need like 27 more crying apologies. Not only is this guy a P3DO, you get it, befriended this Kayla girl who vented to him about her abusive boyfriend and then went behind Kayla's back to smash or get smashed by this abuser. I know he's just shitting bricks right now. Like he is so terrified. He's trying to hire like 19 PR teams to try to clean up this mess, and they're responding like, no, kid, you're fucking cooked. Kind of awesome now. People are starting to hold him accountable for his disgusting acts. So, James, you're cooked.
The times that she played victim over Evan was ridiculous and somehow managed to make it about her.
When it comes to James Charles, she is no stranger to being cancelled, because at the end of the day she's still gonna bounce, but she's still gonna find another popular upcoming influencer and attach himself to the person to get that fame that the person is getting off of. So he's yet again being cancelled, and this time around it's very, very serious. Now we all know this Brooke Chella that passed recently, and yeah, it's not only things that went down with people being broke, people being stuck in the heat, people having no money, paying money off of Klarna and whatnot, payment plans. A lot happened this Coachella, a lot, and then we are yet to even see what is gonna come out since this part Coachella that happened. Now this one that happened is, we all know this Evan situation that happened, this DV situation that happened. So trigger warning, alert, disclaimer, this video, this part is gonna be something that if you are a survivor of DV, a survivor, or somebody who is currently going through that, I would just suggest you just click off right here, because I'm not gonna be kind to this Evan guy, because as a woman, or even us as a woman, as a person, we are not supposed to allow these people or these perpetrators to get away with it. Now I know this video is about James Charles, but it's also about Kayla and then Evans, because all these things intertwine. So fast forward, we all know that this girl made a video about having to survive a 9-month abuse, which I will say that in my opinion, that's very good on her part for able to get out, because we all know it's not really like easy for people surviving DV to get out from that relationship. So big ups to her for being able to get out as early as she could, no kid involved, no marriage involved. So big ups to her on that part. So another thing I would also like to say is that she is currently going to court with this whole situation. So please, tone down a little bit, don't go sending that trick, because I know it's not everybody that is gonna agree with my take on this whole situation. But I would also like to say that Evan deserves to go to jail, and I've seen in so many of the comment section that are saying that the DV is not it's a misdemeanor, which means that you don't really get jail time. But we've seen the cries, we've seen the tears, we've seen the evidence that this is not just a DV, this was attempted unaliving situation, because you could see that person, he broke the girl's jaw, for Christ's sake. But according to the people on TikTok who apparently live where the whole situation happened, it's a misdemeanor, which means they're not gonna get a jail time. But hopefully she does get something that it's gonna make people think twice when they're doing all these things. So this girl is speaking out, which another thing again, it's not everybody all know that it's very, very difficult for people to speak out when it comes to this whole situation. And somebody will be like, why is it like that? Well, if you've never been in such a relationship, good for you. But it's very, very difficult to get out or even speak out, because you're scared of what the person is gonna do, or most of the time I feel like what other people are gonna say. So if you're secured enough, you think you're there to talk about, then you get to talk about it. But as the things are going on, you don't really know who to trust, because for instance, if you are going through this whole thing and you go ahead and talk to James Charles about the situation, and then you find out that James Charles allegedly is giving legal advice to Evans, and then housing him, having, you know, intercourse with him, then what is you, the person going through this whole situation, is gonna feel. So, you know, those sort of things. So it's really hard for people to talk about it, or, you know, ask for help from their family, ask for help from their friends, because of, you know, how the people are gonna, you know, portray them, see them and everything. And a lot of people have also come out with evidence that this was happening right before our eyes. But the girl is such an actress, or such a good influencer, that not everybody, you know, expected that. She always had a good explanation, and that's what it is. There's always a good explanation to why your nose is bleeding, why your eyes are bleeding, why you're having puffy eyes, one part of your eyes compared to the other part. Now, she did made a video, you know, explaining this whole thing, which I don't really want to show much because of, you know, regulations and YouTube stuffs, but I'm gonna link most of her videos in the description box, so make sure you're checking out. She did post on YouTube explaining the whole thing, and I'm also gonna put her name right here, so you can go check her account out on TikTok, because she have a podcast and she's talking about it, which I think we all have to go support her and show our love and justice for her. So, as like I said before, she's going through this whole abuse thing, going through court, you know, filing charges allegedly with this ex-boyfriend. Come to find out this past Brookchella that somebody, a close friend of hers, is you know, effing her over in ways that she herself cannot fathom, like she herself cannot even think about. Now, there's so many people involved in this whole situation. There is Better B, who is a phenomenal, you know, Yap Nation person that talk about, you know, news and, you know, things that are going on in the media. So he also made a video with another person involved with this whole situation, and Bieber is currently, you know, saying that I saw a video of him basically saying that James Charles is allegedly trying to take his video down, which I don't know if that is possible, because I don't know, it could be possible, it cannot be possible, but that's basically what Bieber is saying, because he did make a documentary, you know, exposing basically the whole thing, right? And I want us to go check out a snippet of that, and then we'll talk more later on the whole abuse thing.
So I just wanted to let you guys know that James Charles is officially trying to get my video banned from YouTube. I have now received several messages from people saying that they either cannot access the video, or when they search it, it doesn't pop up. I will include screenshots here. I cannot say I'm surprised. YouTube, at the end of the day, is a corporation, and the products that they sell is the content, and their true customers are the advertisers. And James Charles makes them millions of dollars every year. He's probably the #1 creator in the beauty space. If you think that he doesn't have the ability to call in a favor at YouTube to just say, hey guys, can you turn the volume down on this one post, because it's mutually beneficial for both YouTube and James for him to continue to be able to make the money, and for them to in turn protect his reputation. Can't say I'm surprised. Super disappointing to know that YouTube, I guess, supports domestic violence, supports silencing victims, supports protecting predators. Very upsetting. You can be expecting to receive a letter from my lawyer in the morning. And beyond that, as a result of this, I'm going to be posting the entire interview on TikTok. It is 55 minutes, but I think it's worth the watch. For those of you saying, where's the proof? Watch the video. There is an inordinate amount of proof. And I have to be honest, it's pretty disappointing to see the radio silence. I mean, on behalf of James, I'm not surprised, because he's in a little bit of a pickle here in order for him to acknowledge the situation.
So there you have it. Like, and this whole thing also is that I also find out that James Charles and Anna Paul have the same agency. Do without information whatever you want, but that basically goes to show you the type of companies those people keep, because as you all know, Paul allegedly made a comment about going to create a fake account to go, you know, abuse or, you know, bully the girls that her brother Assis Paul allegedly raped. So, you know, do with that information what you want. I don't even know if I'm gonna make a whole situation about it. And that's where Michaela is also, like, you know, champion in this whole thing, because Anna Paul's brother allegedly, you know, grape her, abuse her also, and then they came after her and she exposed the whole Anna Paul situation. And as somebody that have been through that, I think she knows how it feels to be abused, to be raped, and torture in some sense of to respond to a point that people currently don't want to even believe you, or people think you're cloud chasing. And that's the whole trip, or that's the whole thing that is also happening with this whole, the same tune that Anna Paul is taking. She made that explanation, or trying to expose Michaela, and then she just went about her day, not talking about it. And that's the same thing that James is also currently doing, because why will it be exposed allegedly that you are housing an abusive person who is your friend? So Michaela, this girl that made the 9 months video of surviving the abuse, boyfriend that abused her is now in James Charles' house, and then James Charles is effing him. James Charles is creating spice content with him, secret exclusive content with him, flew this guy out to LA to have intercourse with him, while James Charles is friends with this girl. And this girl find out that during the Brookchella that passed recently. So tell me how it makes sense. Now we all have, like I said, James Charles have his fair share of being cancelled, and then I feel like every calendar year he get cancelled at one point, but he comes up. And the first one that he did get cancelled was basically being exposed for talking to young people, being a predator and whatnot, to the extent that Bruce Hall have even entered the chat. Tasha have entered the chat, like a whole big names around the influencer space, LA squad, type of people that know James Charles have also, kind of entered the chat, sharing their opinions and sharing their thoughts and whatnot inside this whole thing. So this also goes to show you the kind of person that James Charles is, because if it's not true, I don't know if it's true, whatever that people are accusing him of is. But if Bruce is coming out, Tasha is also making a comment, because she did say that she doesn't really know much, but making a comment on this whole thing, and people are really coming for you, then it's like it's not something that it's just wrong or it's false. Like when most people come out for being a DV, most people are like, yeah, it's a lie. This girl came with evidence. This girl came with receipts and stuff that prove that she was indeed abused, and you being her friend went ahead to give legal advice allegedly to this person, knowing your ex-best friend is having a court proceedings with him because you had intercourse, paid for that set intercourse with him. That doesn't make you a good friend. So now not only have you been exposed for being a predator, talking to young boys, young underage people, you are also backstabbing your friend, backstabbing the people that are close to you, and then going ahead to have sex or have intercourse with somebody that is allegedly not able to drink. It's not even at a drinking age. So that same pattern keep repeating. You keep getting cancer for the same thing over and over. So what makes people to not draw to conclusion that you are such person? And better be also stated that back when the whole predator, the whole talking underage children thing was happening, he did sit down with James Charles, and James Charles was basically like, better be asked James Charles, what do you regret most? And he basically in a sense was like acknowledging it or even talking about it. So I guess that's why he is this time around not even making attempts, because this has been going on for months, attempt to even talk about the thing happening or him having any idea about it. So it's also crazy that you don't regret talking to those people or having such things with those people, but you regret coming publicly and crying and making an apology video. How does that make sense? And I'll also go with my motto and say it every day. These influencers don't care about you. They don't care about even their close friends. They don't even care about their own close friends. What makes you think they're gonna care about you that you're watching them making them money? They don't. So yeah guys, that's all I have for you with this whole downfall of James Charles yet again. I don't think he's gonna suffer any consequences with this. We've seen it so many times. They all keep coming up, keep coming and getting bigger and bigger. But anyways, let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and you can always leave your opinions, but please be respectful with them. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.